Hey, what's up, guys? So I want to show you kind of the blueprint that I've came up with to get you guys to getting to $5,000 a month trading stocks as quickly as possible. Each one of these points I'm going to make a video on, and I want to make it as fast as possible. I don't want to be making hour-long videos. I want to be making like 5, 10 minute long videos, straight, quick to the point, and that way you guys can get through all this material as quick as possible. Because honestly, I know some of you guys might not believe me, but it is really not that difficult to get to where you're making $5,000 a month trading stocks once you start to really piece things together. I feel like the best way to do that at the very, very beginning is just download Thinkorswim. That's the most important thing. I want to make a video on each one of these points, and that way I can show you guys and guide you as quickly as possible. But download Thinkorswim, that's going to give you a chance to just watch the market and get used to getting adjusted to it. It's a lot of stuff at the very beginning. You there's these candlesticks, you have no idea what the hell they mean. Then you're trying to piece it together. You have all these strategies that make no sense. You're trying to watch the volume. You have EMAs. You can make it super, super complicated, or how I'm going to teach you is make it really simple. The next thing I think that you guys should be doing is investing in these three books and reading them at least once a year. The first one is volume price analysis. That's going to show you how to structure or the structure of the market, like how the market works and how to think about it like a big hand or somebody that's got a lot of money. Because really that until you can do that, you're not going to make any money in the stock market. The next thing is Steve Goldstein's book, Mastering the Mental Game of Trading. And this is absolutely phenomenal. If you've unlocked my Mind Coach lessons, it's essentially your how he works with you on a one-on-one basis. And if you go through the book and you start understanding it, really you can read that book and go through it yourself and do those practices. Yeah, you won't have the exact same results if you work with Steve, but it's like $50 instead of $5,000. So I feel like at the very beginning of your journey, when you don't have enough capital to be investing into getting your own mind coach, I feel like it's a very good thing. And then the last book is called Trading in the Zone, which is extremely, extremely important. And once you can understand the idea of just breaking away from your emotions and listening to yourself and being in the zone and learning how to kind of do that, that it's gonna those three books together are going to shoot you guys years, years ahead. Really, I feel so stupid because out of all the books I bought Volume Price Analysis was the first trading book I ever bought, and I did not read it for the first like 4 or 5 years, and then I read it probably a year and a half ago, and it was crazy because I had to learn the hard way how to look at the market, and if I would have just read that one book, it would have saved me so much freaking time. The next thing is focus on one setup. At the very beginning, the only thing I want you to be focusing on is gap and crap. Why? Because gap and crap is the easiest thing to trade. It's super simple. You need to make sure that there's a topping in pre-market, and then all you're doing is you're waiting for this thing to pop back up towards the 61 to 78 fib level and take a short, risking pre-market high. It's literally that simple. That's how I trade it. But not only do I want you to understand how to look at gap and craps and all that stuff, I want you to make it your own. The next thing you want to do once you've done these first three steps and you got yourself some sort of grounding is go and get DOS Trader and TraderView and start paper trading and tracking your trades and your stats. What's your win rate? What's your biggest loser, biggest loss? Uh, you know, what time of day is the best time for you to trade? All that kind of stuff will really bring your trading together to the next level. Once you start doing that kind of stuff, you start sending me messages with your stats and everything, and I'll kind of help you out from there. You want to make sure that you're at least doing this, in my personal opinion, for at least a couple months. Uh, because like really, if you can't paper trade for 2 months profitably, you're not going to be able to trade once you have money on the line. Once you are doing that for 2 months, then it really depends on, all right, well, how much capital do you have to invest in yourself and where are you living? If you're in America, it makes it a little bit more difficult because you fall under the PDT rule if you don't have $25,000 to invest into a broker. You essentially just need to have $25,000 sitting in a account, and you trade with whatever is over the $25,000. But if you don't have $25,000, start with like a trade zero. If you have, under $5,000 to invest in the stock market, start out with trade zero. They have higher fees on locates, and commissions are free, I believe. uh Obviously you get what you pay for. If you don't have a lot of money, there's a whole different way that you have to go about trading with trade zero compared to, say, if you have $5,000 to invest in Venom. Venom is basically for smaller accounts. It's like a brother company to Cobra, which, in my personal opinion, is the best broker out there. Cobra, though, you need to have at least $25,000 to open up the account, and then you trade with everything over that $25,000. But we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. And then when you start off, don't have realistic goals. Don't be thinking that you're going to come in and start making, $10,000 a month, or even $5,000 a month. You're probably not going to make any money at the very beginning. It's going to take time to not only understand, you know, really how to deal with your emotions when you actually have money on the line. It's going to change everything. You can have the most amazing plan in the world. And it kind of reminds me of a quote that Mike Tyson says, that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, the second you have money on the line and you push a button and you're risking that money, your plan just went out the window. And so it's a performance activity. It's going to take a while for you to understand how to deal with yourself, and how to keep yourself in check. Um, Realistically, you should do this before, so this is kind of out of order, but you should know this like way up here. So I'm gonna redo this. If you made it this far in, a little screwed up. But anyways, you should know what your entry is. Every time you go to push the button, you need to know, all right, well, where is my entry? If my entry is here, where is my risk at? That's the most important thing, is how much money am I willing to risk on this trade? It doesn't matter about how much money you can make. The risk is the most important thing in this game. It's not difficult to make money in the stock market. Once you start wrapping your mind around everything, it's really not that difficult. What's difficult is to make the money consistently and to keep the money and make sure you don't go on tilt. So then the next thing is, then also know the market. If there isn't any quality trades, to be patient. The market's going to shift. I've been talking to a lot of guys, that are in my program right now. I don't know when you guys are going to be watching this video, but where we are right now, there's a bunch of micro floats that are popping up. And for my rules, anything under 5 million float, you don't trade it. And you really need to work on that discipline to not trade when there isn't a valid trade. And it's very, very difficult for a beginner because you guys are so eager to make a lot of money and throw yourself out there. But it's the experience to be like, hey, the market is not right for me right now. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to save my capital. So that way, when the market is ready for me to trade and my setups are there and the conditions are correct, then I can stomp down on that throttle and really grow your account. And it's something that takes a long time to really wrap your mind around. Everybody's got their own different their own personality and their own stuff that they have to deal with. But that, like, I feel like that's something that goes across the board. I think everybody has a very hard time being patient enough at the very beginning because, you know everyone has a little bit different story, but most people I talk to that they made, a decent amount of money pretty quick, and that's what kind of hooked them in trading. But it's you really have to focus on the process, and the process is understanding what your entry, your risk, your targets are, how to deal with yourself, how to be able to analyze the market, and just holding yourself back when those setups aren't there. So this is going to be basically what I got to so far with the beginner course. I might switch this around and make another video later on, but this is going to be something to at least start the community off. If you guys have anything else that you think would be very valuable, just shoot me a message. And I'm building the community up right now, and so there's always room for improvements on my end as well. So thank you for watching the video, and I'll be back showing you how to download Thinkorswim in the next video.